Have you ever noticed how two people can walk into the exact same room yet receive completely different treatment? One person commands instant authority without ever raising their voice. Meanwhile, the other person gets constantly interrupted, ignored, and pushed around. Statistics show that over 80% of people experience chronic disrespect in their daily lives, either at work or in their personal relationships. Why does the exact same environment produce such vastly different realities for different individuals? Could it be that the respect you receive has less to do with who you are and more to do with the silent signals you are project to the world? I used to be the person who always got walked over by everyone. People would constantly cut me off in the middle of a sentence as if my voice did not matter. They would cancel plans with me at the very last minute because they assumed my time was completely worthless. They would make cruel jokes at my expense in front of large crowds, and I would just smile along, pretending that it did not hurt. But it did hurt deeply every single time. I felt entirely invisible, as if my presence on this earth held no value at all. Then everything changed when I discovered one single mistake I was making. It was just one specific behavior that I needed to alter. The moment I stopped doing it, everything completely flipped upside down. The exact same individuals who used to treat me like total trash suddenly began to treat me with profound respect. They stopped interrupting my sentences. They stopped canceling our plans. They stopped making me the punchline of their jokes. I did not have to become mean or aggressive. I did not have to start yelling louder than everyone else. I simply put an end to one specific habit, and the results happened faster than I ever could have imagined. Today, I am going to reveal to you exactly what that one behavior was. In addition to that, I will share 3 other toxic habits you must stop doing right now if you want to earn genuine respect from others. These are not the typical boring pieces of advice that you hear everywhere else. I'm not going to tell you to just stand up straight or to magically pretend to be confident. Those ideas are completely useless in the real world. The strategies I am giving you today are real practical moves that actually work in everyday situations. I personally tested every single one of them, and they completely transformed my entire life. I will share them with you, starting from the easiest one to implement all the way to the most powerful tool in existence. But before we dive in, you must understand one fundamental truth about human nature. Disrespect does not happen to you randomly out of nowhere. It happens because you are subconsciously sending out weak signals to the people around you. These are silent invitations that tell others they can treat you poorly without any consequences. You obviously do not mean to send these invitations, but you do it anyway. And the moment you stop sending them, people will alter how they treat you almost immediately. So let us discuss the 4 destructive signals you need to stop sending right this very moment. Here is what the vast majority of people do when someone treats them with disrespect. They immediately get highly emotional and upset. They start frantically defending themselves and explaining why the other person is wrong. They react with immense energy, and that heavy reaction is precisely where the trap lies. When you react with high emotion, you instantly show the other person that they successfully got to you. You reveal to them that they possess a strange power over your internal emotional state. And unfortunately, human beings will continue to repeat behaviors that give them a sense of power over others. Here is what you should do. Instead, the next time someone treats you poorly, you simply notice the behavior. Look them directly in the eyes and deliver one simple sentence. That was disrespectful. And then you must immediately stop talking entirely. Do not yell at them. Do not explain your reasoning. Do not defend your position. Simply give a clear name to exactly what they just did. And then enter absolute silence. Let them sit in the heavy quiet with the weight of their own bad behavior. This technique is incredibly terrifying and powerful because most people expect you to do one of two things. They expect you to either explode in anger or to just let it slide completely unnoticed. When you do neither of those things, and instead calmly name the disrespect, and they suddenly have no idea how to react, they will begin to feel deeply uncomfortable within the silence. And they will almost always start backing down. I used to have a close friend who would constantly mock my job choice in front of our entire social circle. Every single time we would hang out, he would make snide comments calling me a simple burger flipper just to get a laugh. I used to laugh right along with him, trying to act like a cool sport who could take a joke. Then one day, I decided I had enough. The very next time he made that joke, I looked him dead in the eyes and said that was disrespectful. I did not say another single word. I did not smile. I did not laugh to soften the blow. I just delivered those 3 words with absolute calm. The entire group of friends went completely silent. The guy instantly apologized right there on the spot, and he never made a joke like that ever again. Why does this simple move work so effectively? It works because you refuse to play their emotional game. You're not getting angry or defensive. You are simply pointing out their bad behavior as if you are reading items off a dinner menu. And that level of calm detachment is infinitely more powerful than screaming in anger. Try this exact strategy today. The next time someone treats you rudely, do not react with emotion. Just say that was disrespectful, or that was rude, or I do not appreciate that. And then stop talking completely. Watch how quickly their face changes. They will develop an instant respect for you right then and there. The second signal involves your personal availability, and this realization changed everything for me. When you make yourself instantly available to everyone at all times, people completely stop valuing your time. They know they can reach you at any second of the day, so your time begins to feel entirely worthless to them. Think about how high society views medical doctors for a moment. Why do doctors make you sit in a waiting room for 30 minutes before your appointment? They do it because their time is universally understood to be incredibly valuable. You wait around for them, and they never wait around for you. And you inherently respect their profession and their boundaries because of that exact dynamic. Now think about a person who is always completely free. They answer every text within 2 seconds. They pick up every phone call on the first ring. They are always available to help with whatever random task someone throws at them. Do you truly respect that person's time? Probably not, because they do not treat their own time as something of high value. Here is how you fix this bad habit starting today. When someone sends you a text message, do not reply within 2 minutes every single time. Wait an hour, or wait 2 hours, or whatever duration feels appropriate for your schedule. You are not doing this to play childish mind games. You are doing this because you actually have a life that does not stop moving for every single notification. When someone calls your phone, you do not have to pick it up immediately. If you are in the middle of something, call them back when you are truly ready to have the conversation. When someone asks you to do a favor or attend an event, do not say yes right away. Instead, use the phrase, "Let me check my schedule, and I will let you know." This sounds like a very minor adjustment, but the psychological impact is massive. When you make people wait for your presence, even just a little bit, you actively teach them that your time is scarce and important. And when people realize your time is valuable, they will stop wasting it, and they will stop disrespecting it. I used to reply to every single message the exact second it arrived on my phone. People would text me at 11 o'clock at night, fully knowing that I would give them an immediate response. They would ask me for massive favors, expecting an instant yes from me every time. And they treated my time like absolute garbage, because I was treating it like garbage myself. Then I made a firm decision to change. I started waiting before I typed out my responses. I started telling people that I would get back to them later, instead of offering an instant yes, and a fascinating shift occurred almost immediately. People stopped demanding things from me and started asking, "Do you happen to have some free time right now?" Or they started saying, "Thank you so much for making time for me." Instead of just expecting it as a given, your time is the single most valuable asset you will ever own in your entire life. It is infinitely more valuable than money, because you can never earn it back once it is gone. When you act like your time is precious, the world will treat it as precious, and when you give it away to anyone for free, people will treat it like trash. Stop being instantly available to the entire world. Make people wait for you sometimes, not to be cruel, but to demonstrate that your hours have real meaning. The third signal is about how you handle poor treatment from others. The sad truth is that most people accept terrible treatment simply because they are utterly terrified of conflict. Someone treats them badly, and they just sit there and take it silently. They stay quiet because speaking up feels awkward and uncomfortable in the moment. But here is the dark reality of what happens when you accept bad treatment without a word. You ensure that you will receive even more bad treatment in the future. By staying silent, you actively teach that person that their behavior is perfectly acceptable to you. You show them that they can mistreat you without facing a single negative consequence, so they will naturally keep doing it. You must stop accepting bad behavior the exact moment it occurs. Not an hour later, not the next day. And certainly not just inside your own head. You must speak up immediately, right then and there. If a friend cancels plans with you at the last minute for the third time, do not say, "Oh, it is completely okay." Instead, look at them and say, "This is the third time you have canceled on me, and that is not okay." If a coworker tries to take full credit for a project you built, do not let it slide. Call it out right in front of the team by saying, "Actually, I performed that work, so please give credit where it is due." If a family member makes a rude and passive-aggressive comment about your life choices, shut it down instantly. Say, "I do not like when you say things like that to me, so please stop." You do not need to be aggressive or mean when you say these things. You just need to be completely clear, direct, and unwavering. Most people avoid doing this because they are afraid it will cause a major scene or create problems. But you want to know what causes far greater problems in the long run. Staying quiet and letting a toxic resentment burn inside your chest for months until you eventually explode in rage. Or even worse, staying quiet forever and slowly learning to hate yourself for being so incredibly weak. I used to have a colleague who would dump his weekly workload onto my desk every single Friday afternoon. He would smile and say, "Hey, can you just handle this real quick for me?" And I would always do it because I was terrified of being seen as a difficult or unhelpful person. This unfair dynamic went on for several miserable months, until I finally decided to put an end to it. He walked over and asked me to do his work yet again. I looked at him calmly and said, "No, that is your job, and I am not going to do it." He tried to push back and pressure me, but I held my ground firmly and repeated that I was not doing it. He finally stopped asking, walked away, and started doing his own work from that day forward. And the most shocking part of the story is that he actually respected me significantly more. After that confrontation, people respect firm boundaries, even if they push back against them at the very beginning. When you show someone that you will absolutely not accept bad treatment, they will either change their behavior or they will exit your life entirely. And honestly, both of those outcomes are a massive victory for you. Stop staying quiet when people treat you poorly. Speak up the very moment it happens. Keep your tone simple. Keep your body language calm, but say something every single time. Watch how incredibly fast the people around you start treating you better. The fourth and final signal is the most powerful tool of all, and it is often the hardest one to execute. You must completely stop trying to prove to the world that you are worthy of respect. Stop defending your personal life choices. Stop explaining the reasons why you deserve to be treated well by others. Instead, you must simply assume that you already deserve respect as a baseline requirement. The vast majority of people walk around constantly trying to convince everyone else that they are good enough. The moment someone questions their idea, they launch into a long, 5-minute explanation, trying to prove why they are right. The moment someone doubts their ability, they immediately start listing every single achievement they have ever accomplished. That desperate need to prove yourself is the exact signal that tells people you do not truly believe in your own worth. Because individuals who genuinely know they are enough never feel the need to defend it. They simply embody their worth, and everyone else in the room can instinctively feel that energy. Watch truly confident people very closely the next time you are in a social setting. When someone questions their decisions, they do not scramble to defend themselves. They simply say, "I am perfectly comfortable with my decision," or "I know exactly what I am doing." And that is the end of the conversation. There is no long explanation, and there is no frantic offering of proof. They possess a quiet, internal confidence that cannot be shaken by outside opinions